Greetings there, ladies and gentlemen. I am James Virgilus, and I'd like to welcome you to The Sword in the Stone. Not actually, no, it's actually Zelda II, The Adventures of Link. Now this game, my god, this game, I have to say, is my most favorite top-of-the-list Zelda titles. Which is kind of interesting because it's pretty much the most controversial one, because some people really hate it and some people really love it, and some people are mostly, this is too hard, I'm not going to play it type thing, basically. But we got story, let's see. After I pretty much hit my desk, after Ganon was defeated, Impa told that a sleeping spell was cast on Princess Zelda. She will only wake when the power of the number 3 port. Basically, we got to get the Triforce of Courage, which is called the Triforce number 3 in this. And we got Adventuresome, yes, of course. And you know me with all, trying to read things anyway. So let's get into this title, because I am damn excited for this one. So let's go for it. So I already got here, we got Link and Stink. I'm going to go for Stink because, well, I'm making this more of a beginner type guide. So I'm going to be very slow. So for, I guess, people that know what they're doing, this video is not for you. This is for people that don't really know how to play this game. So I'm going to go through it, especially the first episode, going through a lot of tutorial stuff like what's this and what's this and why does this happen and how to play the game, basically. So let's go with Stink. Okay, so we are in the northern castle of the palace. And we have, it's obviously side-scrolling, and we got Princess Zelda, which is actually not the Zelda from the first game, but another Princess Zelda. Which is not clarified in this version, but another version. But anyway, we go right and left, obviously, it's a side-scroller, and we can duck by pressing down, and we can press the A or the 2 button on our Wii Remote to jump. We jump about 2 squares. Because look at the staircase, basically. Think of those as basically blocks, because those are going to be standard side kind of block height-wise in the game. So we can jump about 2 squares up. And we can press our B or 1 button on our Wii Remote to actually use our sword. And seeing that we have full life in back in the day traditional Zelda fashion, we can actually shoot our swords. Now, sword beams in this one are not exactly great, I have to say, but nevertheless. We can shoot it side to side, and we can also crouch and go back and forth. And there's kind of a technique I want to do right now, because I'll probably mention it later on. We can jump and obviously use our sword beams back and forth, but we can also crouch and jump and use our sword beams, and we have like a crouch jump stab, which will come in handy for certain things later on, which I'll mention later on. But enough with this, let's go on with our journey here. We can go either side, left or right, to exit the castle, and here's our overworld map. And, well, the blue is water, the green is grass, and the forest area is forest. And the mountain area, south is mountain area. We can't go in the mountains, we can go on the grass, and we can go in the forest, but we can't go in the water either. Yet. That's the key word, yet. Anyway. And we have our path, which is basically kind of the dirt. Well, it's more of a dirt path. When we're on the path, there is going to be no enemy encounters. Just think of this mainly as a kind of like an RPG, even though it does have a lot of RPG elements to it. But the thing is, we can see our enemies. There are going to be two type of encounters. There's going to be a weak encounter and a strong encounters. The weak encounters are going to be the blobs, which are these. And the strong encounters are going to be kind of look like Ganon-like guys. And those will bring if we get hit by those, we'll get these ones here. So here we are. We are going to do a strong encounter right at the beginning. Which not necessarily means stronger enemies, but just trickier enemies to deal with. So we got our moblins. These moblins are worth nothing. And I'm going to glaze over a few things because these moblins will get annoying. These are bits, the red blobs. And I do have to say, if the moblins hit you, you will actually decrease in experience points, which I'll get into a moment. Actually, I should mention that. Let's see if we can get another encounter. And we can also encounter fairies, which is a good thing, but I'll mention fairies later on. Okay, so let us stay here. Hopefully the blobs don't attack us, because I want to explain what's on top of our screen, which I, for some reason, forgot to actually mention that while I was in the screen. We have, starting from left to right, we have a sword with 1. That's our attack level. We have magic level 1, and we have 4, I guess, squares, which I'm going to call units. And each of those units, one of those units, and we have a blob here. Let's get rid of him. Okay. And each of those units will comprise of 16 points. So if I mention numbers, which numbers will come encounter, 16 of those points is 1 square of magic or life, because magic and life are the same thing. Well, calculated in the same way. So here's another one. Okay, let's take care of this guy. Okay. Okay, so our magic is at level 1. Our life is at level 1 also. And the numbers, the left number is our current experience points, and the one below the next on the right is our what we need to get to the next level. We have levels in this. Mainly the levels will include a attack level, a magic level, or a life level. So we are going to reach level experience points 50, and we obviously get experience by killing monsters. These bots are 2. You see the 2 up there. And the thing is, you don't actually get the points until the points disappear. Just want to point that out. So if you leave the screen and the point hasn't disappeared, you do not get the point. Just a good key point. Alrighty, let's go. The forest will also encounter enemies. But if we hit the path, enemy on the path, we get a path battle scene. These are going to be battle scenes. I'm going to call them battle scenes. And there's no enemies here. That's the key, that's the absolutely best encounter thing you can get, pretty much. So, but unless you want to get levels, and then that's probably the bad thing. So let's go in to get some more points. We got some bobs. Now, the blue ones are called bots, and I think the red ones are called bits, but I'm not 100% sure on the bits and bots. I know the blue ones are called bots. But let us go into this forest. This forest will also be a predetermined encounter, and they will be all throughout the actual world, where you basically go onto it and it will bring you to a automatic battle scene, not encountering. But the thing is, there's also a chance that things will show up right there and cancel when you actually go into it, like that. So we actually go into the weak encounter instead of the actual battle scene. And with the magic jars, these are magic jars. Let's see if we can get the spider. Now, the magic jars will restore your magic. The blue ones will restore 1 unit of magic, while red ones will restore your full magic. So let's try that one again. So we go in here, and we're bringing to a different plane. This is the predetermined place. Let's get rid of these aches, which I know are called aches and not keys in this one. Alright. Okay, so pretty much after about, I think, 6 to 8 enemies, one in between those, you'll get a drop. You'll only get a magic jar or a pea bag. It is most likely a magic jar than a pea bag. Pea bags are somewhat random, I think anyway. And weak enemies will drop blue magic jars and 50 points, while strong enemies will go with red magic jars and 200 point pea bags, just to point out. And getting that pea bag, we actually achieved our first level, which we got at the bottom. We got 50, so we got 50 experience points, so our life will go up if we choose to do so. If we do not, we can go to cancel and wait for 100. And then our magic, we can get a choice of magic, or if we do want to go back to our life, we can actually go back to our life. If we choose not to go to either of them, we can go to cancel and wait to 200, and then we have a choice of all three. Just pointing out. But this is going to be a normal run, so I'm going to go pretty much by each level. So every time I get a level, I'm going to use it, which I'm going to use this. So if we actually get a level, there's two benefits for actually doing that. One, we get a level. Obviously, our life is at level 2. Now, as you can see, our life is level 2, and we haven't increased our life hasn't actually increased. To actually get our life increased, we need heart containers, like a staple of actual Zelda games. And then we also need to get magic containers for our magic, which is fantastic. Okay, so we're going to hear this. Usually predetermined areas, I'm all over the place, I do apologize. Predetermined areas usually have some kind of item, usually a red magic jar or a pea bag. So let's get this pea bag. We got 50, we're at 84. Okay, so back to the magic and life. So we got life level 2. What's that mean? Because our life hasn't increased, but our life is level 2. So what that's mean? Life is more of defense in this. So the higher the level you get, the greater your defense is, or the less life you actually take per hit by enemies. Magic, the higher level you get it, the less magic power you need to cast a spell, basically. And attack, obviously, you kill things faster, basically. Less hits to do. And that's about it. Okay, so that's a lot of tutorial stuff right at the beginning. So let us go down. Well, let's get a couple more encounters into here. What? No? Nothing? Okay, so spiders. We have to wait for the spiders to get down. Like I said, the moblins are... when you kill them, you don't get any experience, but if they do touch you, they will take away 10 experience points, which really sucks. Okay, so let's go into a new feature in Zelda 2, which is towns. Let's go. Alright, let's talk to the sign and see where we are. We welcome to Rararu, and I totally botched that name, but doesn't that name sound familiar? It's actually the light sage in Ocarina of Time. So, which I do have to say, a lot of the towns in this are named after sages in Ocarina of Time, if no one actually knew that. Okay, so as you can see, the people are coming by. The people that usually just are coming by, they have really nothing to say, because say it's like, sorry, I know nothing. But the ones that are kind of standing still, and just kind of either going back and forth in front of houses or standing still, have something important to say. Let's talk to this, I'm going to say young lady, but it's an actual old lady. Return the crystals to the palace in Powerapa. Again, botched name, but nevertheless. So we got to return crystals, which brings me up to the menu screen. Let's actually go up the menu screen. We have the menu screen. Now, there's a lot of blank space. That's going to be for magic spells, because we get magic spells in this. So at the bottom of the screen, the first, it's obviously, it looks like Link's head. I always thought it was looking like kind of a heart, like when I first played it, but it's actually Link's head times 2. That's our lives. We actually have lives in this. We have a maximum of 3 lives to start with, because 0 still counts as 1. And below that we have keys. I have 0 keys right now. And below that is crystals. We have 6 crystals. We actually got it, as you can see in the story, which I didn't actually mention, is that we got to restore 6 statues, return the crystals to 6 statues to basically beat the game. And we have 6 crystals. There you go. So that's it. And we have a little row below that line, and that's for items, which I'll get into once we get them. Lots of stuff. Okay, so we can actually enter buildings, so let's go in here. Oh, it's this guy. So let's talk to him. If all else fails, use fire. Okay, so this actually does not imply anything like useful now. It might actually, it does later on, but not right now. But it does. And he does have the Sprite of Error, which I will actually mention when I get to them. Okay, so there's usually two types of houses actually three types of houses that people walk in front of. There's a woman in red usually, and if we talk to her, please let me help you. Come inside. Okay, so we gotta go into her place, and I can restore your life. Okay, so this is our life. So if we actually get damaged, we come back to the town, we talk to this lady, and she will restore our life. And yes, there's a lot of theories of what's going on in there, but I'll leave that to your imagination, basically. Okay. Oh, hey, what's going on, dude? Only the hammer can destroy a roadblock. Why, thank you, sir. Thank you. Alright, so we have actual people coming out of houses, and usually when a person comes out of the house, that means that inside that house is the wise man of the village, or the town. So let's talk to this lady. Talk with my father before you leave town. Okay, certainly, let's go. And I do have to point out that if you let her enter and then you don't follow her, like, almost immediately or a little bit after, she will close the door and you have to wait for her to come back out. Just saying. Oh, okay, let's talk to the wise man. In Hardi-Jay Desert, use magic to survive. Okay, fantastic. And we got our first magic spell, which is Shield. Now, you might thinking, okay, well, there's Shield, and we have a number 32. So what is 32? So I'm going to go back to pretty much when I explained about magic and our units. Remember, each square or unit is worth 16. So 32. So 32, 2 times 16 is 32. So if we actually use it, which we've got to select it, and then we actually got to go out of it, and then we got to press select, which is also the minus button on your Wii remote. We press it, and there's 2. It takes away 2 magic, and we're actually in our red gear. So this is our shield. It halves damage, which is definitely a good thing. But the one thing that really kind of sucks about this game is that if you use magic, especially on yourself, it only lasts in the area before you go to the next screen. So if I go to the next screen, I'm back to normal. So that you got to use your magic wisely in this one. And remember, we can only restore magic by magic jars, or if we go in the town and talk to an old woman in orange, and she will restore magic also, which I'll mention in the next town because there's no magic lady in this town. But we'll talk to this woman. Each town has a wise man. Learn from him, which is basically we get the magic spell for that town. Okay, so let us continue on. And let's go in here. And we got a boy. Let's see what the boy says. Get candle in the Power-Up Palace, go west. Which is actually not right. It's actually a typo. We have to go east, not west. Yes, this is the Wii U version. The Wii U version is slightly modified from the actual North American release on the NES. Which all the typos and all the mistakes in it included. And as soon as you see basically a town sign, we're actually out of the town. Okay, so where do we know? We need to get a candle to go in the palace, which is to the well, he said west, but we need to go east because I know it's in the east. So let's go east. We have to go in that cave, so let's go. Okay, as you can tell, once we enter a cave, it's very dark. That's because we don't have the candle yet. We need to actually get a candle to light up the actual caves. So we can actually see monsters, but if we actually look at... where is it? If we look at the ground, you can kind of see something kind of moving on the ground. So we know something's there, so we'll just keep on hitting it until it's destroyed. There we are. So Even though you can't see in caves, you can kind of see where a monster is if it's on the ground, which definitely helps. Okay, so let's go continue on. And here we are in the desert. Let's go up to here. There's the palace, but we're not going there. Let's go south for just a moment. And we are going to get hit. Now, the weak encounters in this one are mainly you just have to avoid rocks. They look like fireballs, but they are rocks, and they can actually be blocked by your shield. Okay, so along here, if we go... Remember, there's predetermined paths sometimes, so if I go down, we're going to go into a predetermined path, so let's go in there. Now here, there's bubbles, which hurts us, and it also has... Well, this game is obviously made in the NES period, which suffers from knockback. So if we get hit by the bubbles, we will get knocked back. And let's just say Link can't swim in water in this, so if we go into the water, we'll die. So let us watch out and tread carefully through here. We just have to kind of look where the bubbles are going to be appearing, because if it's in the path where we're going to do, we kind of have to watch out, especially jumping over pits. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so here, I'm going to just go in here. I mainly wanted to go in there very quickly because this is a tier 2 enemy encounter in that little forest with the ground thing, because the enemies are a lot stronger than you're meant to actually encounter right there. So you want to come here and make it quick, and hopefully you don't get an encounter, a random encounter. So we're going to go over here and we're going to see a Goriah. Awesome. He shoots boomerangs top and bottom, so just have to watch out for where he is going to shoot, and then his boomerangs can be blocked by your shield. So I've reached 100. So our magic is going to go up, and this is also a good thing because, as you can see, I'm not full on magic, and if we actually get a magic level or a life level, this includes also in life, if we actually get that magic level, we get full magic, which is fantastic. So looky here, we got a big heart. Let's get the big heart. We gained a unit on our life, so we have 5 units of lives now, and that's how we get more life in a sense. Okay, so we can either go right or left to get out of here, and let's get the hell out of this place, because we do not want to encounter anything in that forest area, or if you get unlucky to get encountered in that predetermined grass area, let's not worry about that. So let's go back through here. Remember, watch out for the bubbles because you do have the knockback. And that's one thing that NES games suffer from, especially side-scrolling, is knockback. Oh, the knockback. Okay, so our weak encounters are okay, but I want to actually show a strong encounter here. So where are you? There we go. So we have worms. We have to hit them to get them down, and then we hit them in the head. That's how we deal with them. Okay, I really don't want to get hit, so I do have to watch out. Okay. Alrighty, so let's head to the palace. Our first palace. Awesome. With the awesome music. Good to go, and we're gonna call it an episode here. Wow, that was a very, very informative episode, and hopefully there's not much to go with except for palaces, and once the palaces are over with, there's just a little bit here and a little bit there, and basically deal with enemies, try to explain how to deal with enemies the best way I can. But I really hope this has been very informative for people who have not actually played Zelda 2. And I hope it clears up for people who have played Zelda 2 and wondered, how the hell do I play this game? So, other than that, I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode, because it's going to be a full playthrough of Zelda 2. This is the North American version on the Wii U, so it is very much available. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. It's going to be a grand journey. See you guys next time. Take care.